Okay, and if you take the cruises, remember you have to arrive 1 hour before. Another one, this is for free. Hitchhiking. I love it. I didn't really do it in the first part of my year in Europe, but later, because of one incident, so I was forced to try it. My purse was stolen in Rome. Yeah, everything was stolen except the passport, like my cashes, credit cards, identity card are all stolen. So I didn't have money. And the worst thing is that my flight ticket wasn't going back to the Netherlands. It was going to southern France. And well, after consideration, because if you buy the ticket on that day, and you'll have to pay a lot of money. So I decided, well, I'll just continue my trip to southern France because I already bought a ticket. Okay, so I didn't have much money, so I tried everything I can to save money. Hitchhiking. I hitchhiked everywhere, I guess. Yeah. And there are some tips to do hitchhiking. First one, you have to have a cardboard. Because the paper is so soft that so that the drivers cannot see the characters, so the words on your board clearly. But if you have a cardboard and it's hard, so that drivers can see it clearly. And be careful, the board shouldn't be too small. Okay. And also the location. You have to stand at the place that is easy to stop and also close to the highway. If you want to travel to other cities, you have to stand closer to the highway. Why? Because you can make sure that they are going to the highway and to other cities. It's the fastest way. Yeah. And also you can try the gas station. Why? Because drivers are stopping there, right? So you have time to persuade them. For example, we're Aix-en-Provence, we were holding our board like, Aix-en-Provence, please. Like, bonjour, Aix-en-Provence. And they'll, some people, if you hold the board, maybe they wouldn't stop. But if you were at the gas station and persuade them, they will take you. Yeah, so that's the advantage of gas station. Okay, how about the accommodation? If you're booking the hostels or hotels, be careful of the holidays. Now, for example, there are some holidays like Thanksgiving or Easter. Yeah, be careful. You have to book the tickets like 2 months ago, so that you can really book the hostels that you want. Okay, and I think the most important tip for booking the accommodation is to go to backpackers.com. 背包客栈. Yeah, they offer the most useful tips there. And they'll offer their experiences, so just go on that website, you'll find your information. Okay, and I'll compare some different methods of different kinds of accommodation. Sorry, can I close the door? Sure. Okay, thank you. Okay, hotel. Is it the most expensive choice? Maybe not. For example, in Venice, you know, Venice is a very expensive island to travel, right? So I stayed in a place called Mestre. It's a stop prior to Venice. So it's actually not very far from Venice. And it was so cheap. I stayed in a hotel and it was 13 euros a night. And if you stay in Venice, it will be 25. Yeah, so it's much cheaper. And if you stay in a hotel, there was one disadvantage. That is, you'll have less contact with others. So if you stay in a hostel, you may have more chances to meet other friends, like me, if you stay in a female dorm or the mixed dorm, you can meet other strangers. So you can share your travel experiences. If you haven't prepared anything for your travel, you just ask and they'll tell you their experiences. Okay, and if you are going to stay a lot of hostels that are owned by Hosteling International, then you can have a card called YH card. But I don't think that the card is that necessary because actually there are so many hostels that are not owned by this organization, so you may not need it. So you can, well, just see that if you're going to stay in a lot of hostels that are owned by this organization, then buy it. Okay, how about the B&B? I really like the B&B because when you stay there, you'll feel like you're at home. For example, the picture on the left, so nice. My home is not as beautiful as this. Okay, and on the right side, I stayed in a Korean B&B, bed and breakfast in the UK, and it was cheap, £18 for one day, including the breakfast and the dinner. And every meal, it was like that. I think this is the breakfast. And you know, I have stayed in Europe for 1 year, so I miss Asian food so much. So I was like in heaven at that time. Yeah, and the last one is a free one. Yeah, you can choose to stay in a stranger's couch. Do you know couch surfing? It's quite popular recently. And you'll have your own file and then some personal information about myself. And then you can, after you have your own, you can start to find a place to stay when you're traveling. For example, I stay in this couple's house when I was in UK, and their profile also says also talk about their couch, and I really recommend that. You know, on Couchsurfing website, you can choose to stay in the female's couch or a male's couch or a couple. It says many people's couch. You know that, and I really recommend the couch from many people because usually it's owned by a couple, so it means that the couch is bigger, the house is bigger, so it's more comfortable. Yeah. Yeah, and there's still some good and bad points about couchsurfing. For example, the good ways, of course, you can try the local cuisines. And there's one tip that I usually take how do you say that? Maybe shrimps with me, 小虾米, little shrimps with me, because that's a very important flavoring in Taiwanese cuisine. So if you add some shrimps, they'll feel like, wow, it's really Taiwanese. Yeah. And it was in Italy. The Italian family prepared spaghetti for me, and also the white wine. And I don't think the spaghetti is good. It's so hard. It's like, I'm done. Yeah. But it's natural in Italy. So if you are going to eat spaghetti in Italy, be prepared. Okay. And that was in the UK, in Edinburgh. I stayed in a musician's family. It was really cool. And that was in Italy, also in Bologna. And when I arrived there, I feel spooky because on the instructions given by the old lady, she says, I don't think you have to take bath every day. I was, wow, but it's summer. So I was, so sometimes you'll feel that because you are not paying for the couch, so you are not the boss of the couch. So sometimes you may feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it all depends on the host. And another tip is to bring some souvenirs. Yeah, everybody likes presents. So if you bring a gift at the first, and they'll be very happy. Yeah, just some small gifts. And there's a no-no. Don't use the same font for all the requests. They'll know it if you use the same formats for everyone. Got it? Okay, if you have any question, ask me later. Okay, how about during the travel? If you arrive in a place, go to the tourist information. They'll offer you a lot of things. For example, the free guided tour in Munich. And also you can get free maps. Sometimes free, sometimes it's about 10 NT dollars. And also they may provide pass. For example, Roma pass. And usually it's, well, you have to count it. For example, if the tickets in total are more expensive than you buy a pass, then of course get a pass. Okay, and also there are some 2 tips. That is, on every Sunday, the museums in France are free. And also from 8 to 10 o'clock, the Cordoba Mosque in Spain is for free. And the ticket is like 8 euros, so you'll save a lot if you go in that period of time. And also, if you really like museums, you may consider a museum card in the Netherlands, because the tickets in the Netherlands are so expensive. Usually it's about 9 euros for a museum. So if you go to, and the museum card is like 20 euros. So if you go to 3 museums, you'll cover all the expense. Yeah, and be careful. Don't make the mistake as me. Yeah, you have to separate your money. Just put, well, how do I say? Maybe you should put your credit cards and some money here in the pocket. Do you know the pocket? Yeah, you can buy a 随身包. Yeah, you can buy a little bag here and put it here, so that your purse wouldn't be stolen. Okay, and also you have to keep an eye with your luggage, and I think it's better to put on a lock. Yeah. Okay, and be careful. They can steal by all means. For example, if you're sitting in a restaurant, if you're sitting like here, don't put your luggage, don't put your bag here. It may be stolen anytime. Or when you take the transportation, be careful. Maybe there will be a lot of people surrounding you to squeeze you, so that you will, so crowded, and at that time your bag will be stolen too. Okay, watch out the gypsies. I want to show the ways that they stole my money. Emily, come. Okay, Emily was me at that time. There were 2 gypsies. I was waiting on the line in Rome, and 2 gypsies. One came from the front, one came from the back, and the one from the front was doing like this. 1 euro, 1 euro. Yeah, okay, thank you. So all of my attention was on the front, and I think at that time the gypsy at the back stole my money. So be careful. I was alone, and I think a little Asian like me would be, they will pay attention on me. So they also will pay attention on you. Be careful. Yeah, gypsies. Okay, and here are still some preparation. For example, you can, yeah, I mentioned them all. And I think those are 2 most important websites you have to check before your travel. That is 背包客栈 and also 欧洲自助旅游